you both are meant to be. There is the saying that says, when something is meant for you, no matter how it's going away, it eventually comes back to you. This saying also applies to our relationship. If God lets a person come back to you, it's because He knows that you both are deserving of each other. If two people have been destined to be together, God will always find a way of bringing them back together with no matter the level of difference that they had that led to break up in the first place. When you have made God a priority in your relationship to always let His will be done, He helps you work out things even when you're not looking. You know when you're in a relationship with someone and the devil knows that this relationship of yours, it's a good one that will help you both to fulfill a purpose. He will look for any possible way just so he tries to prevent that from happening. The devil is a thief who's always trying to steal our joy, hope, and anything that will help us to fulfill the purpose and keep pushing towards Christ. He knows that this person will help you to achieve this your goal as a believer, and that's why he destroyed it. Maybe as at then, you did not know that the devil was after your relationship and you let him steal it. But because there is a restoration in Christ, God deemed it fit to bring you both back together, and this time around, the devil cannot stop it. God has given you another opportunity to have another chance at love with the person that you were destined to be together with. You can either accept or let it pass. The choice is yours. Now, you will know if it's because you both are meant to be. That is why God lets him or her come back into your life. I know you want to ask me how. The kind of relationship that you both had before you went your separate ways should be your guide. If this person was everything that you wanted to have in a partner, then you have your answer. Looking back, you will also realize that the reason why you both went your separate ways was not even something serious, but because the devil was in charge. He made the matter look big. When two people are meant to be, God will help to bring them back together, especially when they've given him the lead in their relationship life. 2. The time is right. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in His time. He also has planted eternity in men's hearts and minds, a divinely implanted sense of purpose, working through the ages, which nothing under the sun but God alone can satisfy. Yet so that men cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end." As men, we are limited with the fact that we cannot know the end from the beginning. We cannot know the outcome of our action from the beginning. It's only God that can do that. It is possible for you to meet the right one at the wrong time, although you have a strong feeling in your heart that this person is the right one for you, but the time they came into your life was wrong because you still have a lot of things you need to figure out. During this time that you met this person, you both might not be committed to that relationship to the level at which you were supposed to, and because of this, you both went through a lot of different challenges that made you give up on the relationship. No matter how something seems right when you are in it, at the wrong time, it will always come out wrong. When the time is right, you'll realize that things just fall in place without you having to struggle to put in much effort. God makes everything beautiful in His time, and only He is capable of telling when the time is right. The reason why God lets this person back into your life is that you are now ready for the relationship. If you realize now that them being back into your life doesn't affect other important areas too, that needs your attention, then the time is right. You also realize that you have become more mature to handle issues without getting frustrated or blowing it out of proportion. Then you can be sure that the time is right, and that's why God brought him or her back to you. Being with the right person and at the right time is a blessing because you will appreciate the relationship. God has your interest in heart, and He kept this person for you. It shows that you are loved. Number 3, it could be foreclosure. I know you might not like to hear this as the reason why God lets the person back into your life, but the truth is this might be the case, and that's why you need to check this possibility with God. When God lets a person come back to you, it could be that He wants you to have a good closure about your past and just move on. Many of us are still moving around with the baggage from our past relationship, and that has blinded us from seeing the things that God has in store for us if we move on from that stage. His love for us will not let Him leave us in that state, and so He brought this person back to you. When we love someone, we will have great expectations. He or she should be the one for us, but somehow along the line, it just doesn't happen the way that we thought it will. This ends up leaving us broken and disappointed. Our hearts will be filled with many questions that we never get the answers. Many words left unsaid that your heart needs to let out so you find peace. You want this person to answer your questions, as to know what went wrong in the relationship that you did not see. You thought everything was going on perfect, but they took you by surprise when they left. God understands you more than you think He does. Every single detail about you is His business, and He knows just how important it is that you let the words out so that you can forgive this person and find your peace. Closure gives peace, and you begin your healing process. You gradually then move into the next big thing that God has always been showing you, but you cannot see it. For you to know that this is the reason why God brought this person back to you, you will realize that after you have said the words you needed them to hear, you will find peace. Although you don't hate them, you will not love them the same way you loved them in the past. You will also realize that there is a smooth process of healing and closure for you. Number 4, there is something you need to learn or get from that person. The ways of God are very different from the ways of man, and no matter how you try to wrap your head around it, you will never fully be able to understand the way He works. God lets a person come back to you if there is something that He wants you to learn from that person. He wants you to get something from that person. God brings people into our lives for different reasons, but most times we don't realize it till they're no longer present. It's not everyone that you went into a relationship with that you're supposed to be dating. There are people that the purpose why God brought them into your life was for you to remain friends and help each achieve your goal in life. But the devil always has his way of trying to destroy the plans of God whenever he sees it. The devil made you both get into a relationship so that you end up destroying the bond that you were supposed to have. We've lost great friends who were supposed to help shapen us into becoming better people the moment we decided to get into a relationship. When two people are wrong for each other, it brings out the worst in them and they end up becoming enemies. He gives second chances when He knows that this person being back into your life is going to be beneficial to either you or both of you. If this is the reason why God lets a person come back to you, you will realize that instead of you to be having a love for them in that direction, you will only like them as normal friends. They will also try to help you in areas that you need help, and if you're lucky that they are already established, they might just be your opportunity to a better life. You don't need to stay enemies with your ex if somehow they still came back into your life. You need the spirit of discernment to know their purpose. You only need 1 or 2 reasons to know why God lets a person come back to you. Don't get yourself confused by trying to justify all the reasons yourself. I pray that God gives you the spirit of discernment to guide you and show you the real reason why He made this person come back to you.